Hi guys, it's Gecko and welcome to my April wrap up. How well did I do in my owls? Not very well. So, I read 8 books and I DNF'd 1. So first of all we're going to talk about the DNF because I want it nowhere near me, and currently, because the situation, it has to stay with me. So I'm not bitter about that at all. And I DNF'd Heart of Thorns by Brie Barton. It's very pretty. I picked it because of the heart for the first prompt, which I can't remember what it is. My notebook's in the other room. So yeah, DNF'd this. Did not like it. I knew basically from the first page that I didn't really like it. Everything about it was just not great. No disrespect to the author, of course, just not for me. Moving on. So I had to change my first prompt. So I went with Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. It feels so long ago that I read this. I feel like I've spoken about it, but I haven't because I swapped it. It's been April lasted like 3 seconds and also 10 years. It's very odd. But yes, this is a book about a woman, well, 17-year-old I think, going to Italy in summer to spend time with her father. And they say people come to Italy for love and gelato. Or they come to Italy for whatever reason and they stay for love and gelato. Sometimes they discover so much more, and honestly I gave this book 5 stars. I loved it. I thought it was absolutely adorable. It's a very lovely book, very pretty. I'm really glad I got it, and yeah, it was just so cute, and I really want to go to Florence one day because of this book. I kind of did already, but like, it's such a cute book. It's so cute. Now, I'm not a fan of contemporary cute romances, but sometimes they're just really cute. Like, they're so adorable, and this was really adorable, and the love interest was super cute, and I love him, and I hope I see, like, I know there's a couple more books. I don't know if it's a companion trilogy or like a trilogy, but I'm hoping Ren pops up in other books because I really do like him. Next, I read a book that was outside of my comfort zone, and for that I read Cinder by Marissa Meyer, which is a futuristic Cinderella retelling. Gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It's so cute. The thing is, for me, I'm not a fan of like characters like being cyborgs or AIs. Not necessarily that I'm not a fan of it, it's just something that I've never really read before, and the idea of it doesn't really go, ooh, me. I don't always see that and go, yes, I want that. But this was really good, although there was a plague element and that was kind of terrifying. But yes, this is really good. I will be continuing with the series. Yeah. And if you saw my last video, you know that I got this in a Apparently, and this is incredible. I love it. Even though I don't like the series it's from. So, yes. And I'm drinking Pepsi Max Cherry because I'm obsessed with it. I don't just drink coffee. Next, I read a contemporary, and for that I read, or reread rather, Solitaire by Alice Oseman. And there's going to be a theme in my TBRs. I'm probably going to read at least one Alice Oseman book. At this point, it's just kind of who I am. Again, gave this 5 stars. Listen to this at least 3 times on audio this month because it's really soothing. It's a really weird book to say soothes you because it's like a really sad book, but I was like, it's a really dark, sad book. Because it deals with mental illness and stuff. But this book follows a girl called Tori and what happens at her school with Solitaire, which is a prank group, and Michael Holden. And it's not a love story. and I loved it. I love it. Alice Oseman is one of my favourite authors. She's announced like 3 things. Well, it was 4 things of hers are coming out this year, and I have pre-ordered all of them. One of them came out in February, and it was the 3rd Heartstopper volume, and the other 3 are on pre-order because it has to be. And I can't wait to read Loveless, Nick and Charlie, her novella, which is coming out in print, which is going to be amazing, and the Heartstopper colouring book, because obviously Heartstopper is going to be super cute, and these characters, the characters from Heartstopper, are in this book. Although it focuses on Charlie's sister. But yes, this book's like, it's so pretty as well. I love it. I'm just trash for Alice Oseman apparently. Then I had to read a book for the most part at night, and I went with Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, which is a hefty book. I also gave it 5 stars. It's the sequel to Vicious. This took quite a long time to read because of my sleeping schedule. I was kind of waking up and then like not doing anything, and then when I started to read it would be like sunrise, but I got through it eventually, and I can honestly say love this book. I tweeted about how much I did enjoy it, and V.E. Schwab herself liked my tweet, so I was like, yes. I can't wait to read more of her books. And I've pre-ordered the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I remember the title, I just call it The Strange or Weird Life, and it's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I've pre-ordered that. It comes out in October. I'm very excited. Yes. I've officially read 3 of her books and still consider one of my favourite authors. I will read more. I've got quite a few that I haven't read yet. I've got one here. Well, this one's The Savage Soul of the Dark Vault. I've got The City of Ghosts, like somewhere. I've got books everywhere. But yes, V.E. Schwab, definitely can't wait to read her books. One more of her books. They're going to be amazing. I already know. Next book, set at the sea or coast. Technically this book does have a little bit set at sea. And that was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, I think. And it's a very small book, but it's a great book. I was told to read it by not only my mum, but also a streamer I love. And he was right, and she was right, and yes, this book is one that you definitely need to read and then talk about, because there's so much. For a very small book, there's so much stuff in it that is important to talk about and everything. So yes, I will probably review this at some point. I'm thinking about reading it again in the future and then reviewing it. I might try and get Mum to come on and talk about this book. Who knows? Next, much to the Wild Sash's delight, I read Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna Maguire. And honestly, she was like, it's my favourite book. I hope you love it, but a lot of people don't, but I really hope you love it. And I'm like, I couldn't find my copy, and then I found it, and I was like, I'm going to read it. It's very small. This wasn't for the owls. This kind of like fell apart a bit. But this, so good. So effortlessly diverse in terms of the LGBTQ plus community. My favourite thing about it was there was a trans guy in there. And as a trans guy, I sort of and I was like, I love this guy. This guy is like who I want to be. But yes, he's great. And this is about children who go to the other worlds, sort of like if you go to Wonderland, or if you go to, I'm trying to think of another fantastical world where people go but they like come back. That's not Narnia, because they talk about how Narnia is actually an allegory for Christianity, and it's a really terrible one at that, which was quite cute. I really enjoyed that, and I was like, yes, they know. So the characters in this were really great. It was very small, so you don't really get much of a story, but there was a huge mystery in it as well, which was so good. Yes, honestly, so good. So effortlessly diverse, really good mystery. Yeah, And yeah, oh, it was so good. It was so good. And I genuinely recommend this one as well. I don't recommend all of them apart from Heart of Thorns, because that was a DNF, but it's also good. Now, this one. This was the lowest rated book. I think I gave this like 2 stars. And that was The Narrative of John Smith by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I did not like this book at all. I think it was because it was an unpublished first novel. It wasn't even a finished draft, which to be fair says it probably should have been published. But I picked this up because of Criminal Minds and they were talking about it. And I think because of that, if it had the Thomas Merton quote in it, I'd probably keep it and love it, because they wrote that in, it was part of the episode. But this book was genuinely kind of meh. Like, nothing happened. I mean, to be fair, it was only 6 chapters, 120 pages. Like, it was probably going to be a huge-ass book. Like, have I got any Conan Doyle? Somewhere I have Conan Doyle and they're quite thick. So, like, obviously this is nowhere near what it could have been, and I think that's what was upsetting to me about the book. It's just there's not a lot there, and I'm not gonna take this as an experience. I'm not gonna judge his writing by this book, because obviously everyone's first book isn't great. This was the first one he wrote, not the first one that was published, so there's a difference between that. So he probably wouldn't have been happy to know this had been published either, so yeah. I will be giving Sir Arthur Conan Doyle a chance, because I do enjoy Sherlock adaptations. I think Sherlock is or Sherlock Holmes. I think they're quite interesting. I love Elementary and I love Sherlock, so like be giving the source material a go, but other than that, I don't really know what else he wrote, so that'll be interesting to find out. And finally, I reread this hefty book. Hamilton, The Revolution by Lin-Manuel Miranda and Jeremy McCarr. I listened to the audiobook for this, and honestly, every time I do, I just go, oh, I forgot about this, or like, because this book is essentially how the groundbreaking musical was written, also how the American Revolution took place. It's got the what are they called? Edges. I honestly can't remember. I'll probably remember later, but that's what they're called. But what I tend not to read this book physically, because I have like Fairy stuff that needs to be flattened in here, and then I just kind of leave them in there for like 6 years. Little random art prints scattered out throughout the book, and little secret bits. Like, for example, without spoiling it, or without that happening. So this is information about that. And then there's the Lynn's annotations to the songs in it as well, which I think are fascinating. I love it. I think listening to the audiobook adds something to it, because you get to hear Lynn talk about things. You get to have Jeremy McCarthy's introduction read by him, and it's just an experience that you don't get physically reading it. Like, I don't know. And that's why I don't tend to pick things up or hold books with stuff in them that can fall out. But yes, this book is so good. I'm a massive fan of Hamilton, and this book was just a great companion. And it's one of my favourite non-fiction books as well. And it just It's got great photos in it. It's got Lynn's notebook where he was writing things. You can see how far he got writing something. It was on one page. But yes, got the photos. Where's the notebook? There's a contents page. If I looked in the contents page, it might help. Pardon me. Here we go. This is inside Lynn's notebooks about how he wrote things. This one is an actual Alexander Hamilton quote. It says, "I wish there was a war," in a letter to his friend Ned. It's very in the pen and the pad one from Lynn's notebooks, and it's got some amazing photos from the actual show. It's a really good. I love it. So yeah, this is my April wrap up, although it feels like I've spoken about like 7 of these books before. Actually, I've spoken about The Revolution and Solitaire before, but like, yeah. So yes, these are all the books that I read or attempted to read in April. A very heavy pile. I am still reading 2. I'm currently reading Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor and Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Satiric Pratchett. I'm loving both of them. I will be mentioning more about them in my May TBR because I'm going to be attempting to finish them in May. So that's the thing. If I'm still reading a book or actively reading a book at the end of a month, I will continue. I will put it on my TBR for the next month because I'll be finishing it in that month, if that makes sense. But yes, so that's fun. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this something. I don't know. But yes, these are all the books I read. If I had to pick a favourite of the not rereads, because obviously it'll be Solitaire, but I'd say Every Heart a Doorway for the representation, Alchemist for how it made me think, Vengeful for just being badass, Cinder for genuinely just surprising me because I'm not a Cinderella fan and I don't really like retellings, Love and Gelato for being cute. So I really enjoyed all of them, apart from Narrative of John Smith and obviously Heart of Thorns, which is good. I find that like I enjoy a lot of things and I think that's good. But May is going to be better. So I read the most books I did so far this month. I've read 8 and I'm really happy about that. Gonna try and aim for 10 in May. Still so far behind, but we gotta do what we gotta do. So I may end up just reading about 10 really short stories just to boost that up. I won't, will I? It's me. I'm gonna end up reading a 650-page book for the next 6 months. But what is new? So anyway, hope you enjoyed watching this. Leave a like if you want. Don't if you don't. Drop a comment, tell me what you read, what you liked, if you've read any of these books. Yeah. Thank you for watching and I will see you very soon.